Greetings. CERAWeek has emerged as a unique platform that brings together the global energy leaders and experts to deliberate on the opportunities and challenges in the worldwide energy sector. And it is my privilege to be part of CERAWeek 2021, where we will be deliberating on the new map for energy, climate, and charting the future. In recently concluded CERAWeek's India Energy Forum, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, outlined his energy vision, a new energy map for India with 7 key drivers: accelerating efforts to move towards a gas-based economy, cleaner use of fossil fuels, greater reliance on domestic sources to drive biofuels, achieving renewable target of 450 gigawatts by 2030, increasing contribution of electricity to decarbonize mobility, moving into emerging fuels, including hydrogen and digital innovation across all energy systems. This vision reflects the importance the Government of India places to improve the energy security architecture and transform our energy landscape. Indian Oil is committed to the energy vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. As the nation navigates through a period of great transition and transformation, we will continue to play the frontline role in ensuring India's energy security. With more than 1.3 billion people, India is now home to 18% of the total global population. India is the third largest consumer of energy in the world, while accounting for a mere 7% of the global energy demand. Our energy requirements in the coming years are bound to grow as there is a need to bridge the energy access deficit in the country, which is 0.6 tons per capita versus 1.8 ton per capita world average. This vast gap, coupled with rising aspirations of Indians for improving standards of living, is going to act as a key driver of energy demand in the future. India is going to experience the fastest growth in energy consumption among all large economies. Like every challenge, the pandemic has also come with its share of learning and lessons for life. Adapting quickly to new work processes, gaining knowledge and skills, and resolve to keep the work going amidst all the limitations is essential in the era of the new normal. Leadership in such times, I have realized, is defined by priorities. For us, priority was serving our customers despite the breakdown we saw on both demand and supply side. Not losing sight of the future, we also kept working on our future plans and investments as we navigated through the crisis. India is an import-dependent country and demand is projected to increase. The volatility of crude prices coupled with exchange rate fluctuations have a massive impact on operations. Today, India is driving global oil demand. For sustainable growth, oil prices need to be at an affordable level. Affordable oil price will help in the upliftment of the weaker segment of the society, which in turn will increase the consumer base. The biggest overall long-term challenge at the global level and for us in India is to supply clean and affordable energy to all, meet the requirements of economic growth while addressing the concerns related to climate change and air pollution. India, like several other countries, is in the midst of energy transition. There will be a continuity of energy consumption pattern, but also a profound change as we integrate renewables more intensely in our energy mix. Our energy agenda in India is inclusive, market-based, and climate-sensitive. To meet the rapid growth of our energy needs, we have been working on a mission mode. So downstream players must diversify into cleaner energy forms which present high growth opportunity areas and downward integration into petrochemicals which could drive long-term global oil demand. At Indian Oil, we recognize the power, opportunities and challenges that are associated with the ongoing energy transition. And accordingly, we have been investing across the energy spectrum, be it in natural gas, renewables or biofuels. Also, our R&D setup has been working on areas of hydrogen, CCUS advanced biofuels, and battery endeavor. But this event of 2020 have made us stop and think that perhaps we should go quicker and bigger on new energy bets. While in India, we plan to increase our refining capacities to meet the growing demand, we are aware of the slowdown in the growth rate of transportation fuel demand that is expected in a decade or two. Hence, petrochemicals integration is the way forward for all our refinery investments. The high demand growth trajectory for Indian petrochemicals demand, coupled with the high and growing import of petrochemicals, further strengthen the case for this in the Indian context. The policy thrust on biofuels in India comes with a multitude of advantages from the point of view of environment and energy security and rural economic prosperity. India views compressed biogas or bio-CNG as a game changer that can address multiple energy objectives and is integral to our 15% natural gas penetration target by the year 2030. Natural gas is critical to the decarbonization of the markets like India, especially since it is the one that can be scaled to match the massive energy growth requirements. An estimated investment of $67 billion is lined up in developing gas infrastructure, which includes pipelines, city gas distribution, LNG regasification terminals within the country. During the last decade and a half, Indian Oil R&D has been the pioneering force in hydrogen research in the country. We recently launched the Hydrogen-Enriched Compressed Natural Gas (HCNG) plant and dispensing station in Delhi. Research has indicated hydrogen levels in the range of 18% in HCNG have several advantages, including improved combustion characteristics and reduced tailpipe emissions over conventional CNG, including fuel economy benefits. It will be a major milestone in our bid to offer cleaner mobility options. In India, a unified approach under the stewardship of government is being undertaken in promoting e-mobility through policy formulation and multiple stakeholder consultations. I strongly believe that India, with its unique population and demographic dynamics, has to chart its own energy transition blueprint. Daniel Yergin has rightly pointed out in his book, The New Map. The term energy transition has multiple dimensions for India. It is a transition out of poverty and using wood and waste and into commercial energy and better health and reducing pollution both in cities and in village homes. This demand profile offers numerous possibilities with a broader basket that has diverse forms like coal, oil, and natural gas coexisting with bioenergy and renewables. Each energy form has its role cut out for fueling the emergent nation, which is the world's third largest consumer of oil. Harnessing renewable energy sources is a part of India's vast vision to achieve social equity and energy transition with energy security, a more robust economy, and climate change mitigation. Climate has risen to the top rung of policy in a number of nations. The cost of energy transition will be big, but the cost of inaction will be much bigger. The biggest challenge that we face today is to provide access to clean and affordable energy for all, while catering to the energy requirements of economic growth, which will underpin the much needed improvements in the living standards, especially in the South Asian region. In India, we stand committed and are on track to achieve our NDC of reducing the carbon intensity of its GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030 from 2005 levels and 40% of installed power capacity from non-fossil fuels by 2030. At this point of time, the energy mix in the next decades will continue to be as it is in the past, a shifting mix, differing considerably among countries, but definitely moving towards low CO2 than today. As regards Indian Oil, the capital availability for investments, let me assert that Indian Oil's finances are healthy. We have a mix of equity and debt for our future capex spend. We are confident of raising funds from the domestic as well as international markets if need be. Our debt to equity ratio also reflects our financial stability and our enhanced appetite for borrowings for the country's future growth. In the larger context of global investments, underinvestments in oil, both upstream and downstream, in the next 5 years could lead to a deficit situation. I am confident that Indian Oil is well equipped to meet future energy challenges in terms of capital availability and supply chain risks, and we will continue to fuel the economic resurgence of India. The COVID-19 crisis reinforced the importance of technology, agility, and sustainability. Digital platforms and artificial intelligence already play an essential role in matching skills to employer, capital to investor, and consumer to supplier. Automation, robotics, and AI are advancing quickly, dramatically changing the nature and number of jobs available. Technology has the power to improve our lives and raising productivity, but its unbridled use can also result in social unrest and political upheaval if economic advantages are not shared equitably. With a few regional exceptions, the world's population is aging, putting pressure on business, social institutions, and economies. Our longer lifespan will affect business models. Older workforce will need to learn new skills, and retooling will become the norm. The shortage of human workforce in a number of rapidly aging economies will drive the need for automation and productivity enhancements. The rapidly developing nations like India, particularly the ones with a large working population, will gain the most. New areas of jobs in alternate energy, waste management, and reuse will need to be created to deal with energy transition related needs. At the same time, traditional energy industries may see a restructuring. Finally, before I conclude, I would like to offer my compliments to Dr. Yergin and his team for hosting the CERAWeek 2021 on a virtual platform with commendable success. I am confident that this edition will witness engaging dialogues between global energy leaders and highlight the increasing importance of sustainable and affordable energy transition. Thank you very much.